Okay, it's a super misty morning here in the wilds of Norfolk, reflecting on public speaking and the skills of public speaking. And I think the worst piece of advice I've ever been given on public speaking is that you need to keep everybody in the room happy. It's a thankless task and actually impossible task. You can pretty much guarantee, and we're talking about real life rather than virtual here, that somebody in the room is going to be on their phone, somebody on the room is going to know nothing about what you're talking about or not care at all. And I think if you set yourself up to try and make everybody engage, you will be disappointed. So I find that the simplest thing to do, particularly if you're nervous, is to find one person. Just focus on one person in the audience and how you can make them happy and engage them in your story. And if you begin to find one person, you might find two, make eye contact with them, they will be supporting you. And you can have that relationship one-on-one with that person, and they will be encouraging you because they want you to succeed. Nobody wants you to fail. Everybody wants you to succeed. And if you build out one at a time, it's a much more effective approach than trying to be super entertaining for the whole crowd. It's just hopeless. That's my top tip.
Making these little videos has probably been more nerve-wracking than a lot of the public speaking that I've had to do. As usually it's something that I quite enjoy. It's just another type of performance. Nerve-wracking beforehand maybe, but once you're up there and you can see people in the audience and start to make eye contact with someone who's engaging, then you can feed off that energy and it's good fun. Whereas with this, I'm just looking at my face on screen and I've no idea what any of you are thinking. And I think that's the challenge that we're having to adjust to, moving to communicating in a digital way, is missing those indications like body language when you're running a Zoom meeting and trying to check that everyone's engaged and there isn't someone who'd like to ask a question but isn't sure how to break in. And something that I think is really helpful in these situations is to actually make more space than you would normally in a presentation or a meeting, so you get a chance to get additional feedback, and if people want a question, they have the space to do that.
So confidence in speaking for me is about really knowing your subject and being comfortable to be able to talk about it. Being comfortable about what you've been asked to say. Structuring your piece, trying to be fairly sharp and give a clear message. Then doing a bit of practicing, ideally videoing it, and being sort of critiquing yourself well so that you have chance and time to come out with a great product. In my case, it's generally about pace. I can sometimes go a bit too fast, and also try and inject a bit of humour and maybe a bit of a story so that it comes across with a nice human interface. Okay.
Public speaking. Well, first of all, is the ability to do it at all, and then there is the ability to do it well. I used to be terrified of speaking out even in a meeting, and at Mars my boss pulled me aside and said if I wasn't going to contribute in meetings, she wasn't going to invite me to them anymore. And ever since then I have tried to make sure that I contribute, probably early on, because I've probably got something to say, but if you wait then somebody else has made the best point, and that got me more and more confident in speaking. So, and then it's just a matter of doing it and recognising that you are hugely competent in the field that you've been asked to talk about. You know far more than everybody else in the room, and they all want to hear what you've got to say. But you have to prepare. Practice, get friends to help you, do whatever you can. And even now, even though I speak frequently to groups of hundreds of people, I still get that little adrenaline rush beforehand, and that is vital because that's what keeps you focused. And sometimes I actually deliberately go out without any notes in order to make sure that I get that adrenaline rush, because you remember what you've said, and then when you've finished, it's absolutely exhilarating. So I think my message to everybody is you've got to have a go, you've got to start somewhere, and the secret is to prepare. And if you've got a friend like Sharon that will help you prepare a eulogy, help you prepare a TED Talk, make best use of them, because she's been a huge help to me. Thank you.
Recent developments, I think, has meant for some people that public speaking is taking on a whole new format for them, one that they're not necessarily used to doing. I for one used to really enjoy speaking publicly. I enjoyed making that connection with people. However, I now feel that when I speak, I'm much more focused on myself than I am the audience. You can't make that same connection with people. You can't read people's body languages as well. I especially like to move around quite a lot when I speak. I'm quite a physical communicator. And that's been really difficult during this new age of everything being online. It has, however, had benefits in that it's opened up me to wider audiences, and I'm being able to learn from a lot more people. I still think the most important things around public speaking are being confident in your own knowledge and expertise, and also having the faith that people want to hear what you've got to say, and that your thoughts and opinions have value and worth. And if you have to adapt about how you communicate those things, it's worth putting in that effort. It's worth learning some different skill sets.
I have not had a huge amount of experience in public speaking, but I have noticed distinct similarities with my singing exploits. I have sung with choirs in front of thousands of people at venues such as Carnegie Hall in New York, the Royal Albert Hall in London, and the Usher Hall in Edinburgh. My family always ask me how I have the confidence to walk out on stage and sing. I'd say there were 3 main factors. Firstly, being prepared, knowing the piece by heart. Even if I have the sheet music in front of me, I only use it for cues rather than actually reading it. Having confidence in my ability, knowing that I wouldn't have been chosen to sing if I wasn't good enough. Similarly, you have been asked to present because people think you are knowledgeable on the subject. Finally, keep going. I have made many mistakes whilst on stage, but on the whole, no one will ever know if you carry on as if nothing has happened. An audience will remember the content and the way you presented and not the mistakes you made. So, my tips are knowing the presentation back to front, being confident, and keep calm and carry on.